Ladies and gentlemen, you know it's Taco Tuesday, so we're excited about having on the call today. And let's give a warm welcome to none other than Regional Director, Miss Roxann Corralejo.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes,
I
yes,
hope y'all
yes.
are as pumped as I am. Oh my goodness, Buddy Lee and those photos, I love it. It says entrepreneur Roxann the taco lady. I like it. I don't know those pictures. That girl you put on there is cuter than I am. Dang it, AI. Dang it, AI, making us look too good. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. I definitely want to give credit where credit is due and give back to you and kind of tie this into yesterday's topic and conversation with Miss Carrie Roeder. Wasn't she amazing? Like, I love that woman to death. She definitely packs so much in such an itty bitty little packet, and I love her. But just something to bring to tie in what she talked about in this whole platform that Mr. Thomas put together for us is she was talking about the tools in our toolbox, right? What tools we have. And then Mr. Thomas is that one person that always utilizes every single one of the tools in the toolbox. Like there is not one clean tool in there. And one of the ones I want to highlight that really stands out to me, what I got this last time in Orlando, just big time, and it just kind of flipped something in my mind, is how he makes these events fun. He had so much going on trying to fill me in. Hey, we're gonna go shoot some balls, or what is it, like a top golf thing that's over here on the property, or we're gonna do dinner over here, or we're gonna grab a drink over here. Whatever it is, he tries to make it inclusive and fun. And one of the tools, which I hope y'all took notes because I know I did, one of the tools she said was the environment. She said our environment, and they talked about that being one of our tools in celebration. And one thing that Mr. Thomas never fails at is making sure he utilizes these Orlando events, not just for training, which a lot of us do. And I did 100%. I utilize these as trainings, but he utilizes them as getting together with the team, as collaboration, as team building exercises. And we go out and we have fun and just saying, hey, it's not work. We do this. We do ACN. We do network marketing so we can have that time freedom. So we're not always grinding and hustling. And so many times, so many of these leaders are just talking about hustling and what are you doing? Did you put in the work and all this stuff? And they forget about why we're doing this, why some people fall off. But if you surround yourself with people like Mr. Thomas and you're in his circle, I remember every single time that it's okay to have fun. I step away and instead of like, we're doing a casual dinner, we don't even do business talk. He's talking to the waiters and waitresses and everybody, and we're just having a good time. Are you guys doing that? And that's what kind of switched in my head. And I heard something, I don't remember who said it, but he talked about team building. It might have been Mr. Cooper talking about just doing a team celebration, and it doesn't have to be something as the leader that we have to pay for. And we always think, well, we don't want to do this. We got to make sure we have appetizers and meals and drinks and whatever it is. It's just getting together with friends. If you ever think about when you get together with friends, why not do that with your team? We're all friends. I know my closest friends are in ACN. Like as I developed, as I started working through ACN, all the other people started falling off. Why? Because they're at a different mindset, and I'm leveling up every single time. And what's so cool is I'm leveling up with y'all. Y'all are who I'm leveling up with. So you are who I want to keep in my inner circle. And so why not do these things? Because we're thinking we're the leader, we can't mingle with the team. No, that's what they want to see. They want to see people that are there with them, that they're friends, people they can count on. Man, I made so many close connections in Lubbock that they were so sad. So many people were like, man, we hate to see you go, but we don't want to hold you back. We know you have more work to do. But I still keep in contact with them every time. And I love that I have, no matter where I go, these close connections because it's my ACN family. And that's one thing I've just picked up so much from you, Mr. Thomas. So I know this was a long giving back, but it's also a teaching moment. And what it's done for me is follow in his footsteps, mimic him, do what he's doing. That's what I do. So many people are like, dang, Roxann, you're so great. I didn't think about that. I don't think of it on my own. R&D all day, Robin duplicate. It's Mr. Thomas. It's Mr. Thomas, just with longer hair. That's all it is. So you guys pay attention to the things he's doing. Every little thing counts, and he does everything with intention. Intentionality is so So important. The fact that he doesn't just go and say, hey, let's just all go out to dinner. No, he knows who he wants to invite and handpick and who's been supporting the community and the people and who's been servant leaders. And that's who he wants to make sure he brings around. So pay attention to those things. And thank you so much. Thank you for always being that reminder. And that's one thing I know I need is that reminder to have fun. And for sure, that's why I signed up in ACN is for my time freedom. But I get so immersed in everything. I'm like, man, no. Be more like Mr. Thomas. So I appreciate you. So I do want to touch base too a little bit on these tools. So I talked about in the environment and celebration and utilizing that as Miss Roeder talked about. But I kind of want to extend on her training a little bit and put things into action or but just so that you guys can see them tangibly. So she talked about that. That's how you can see utilizing the environment and celebrating other people. If it's someone's birthday, celebrate them. If it's an anniversary, celebrate them. So those are ways you can put it into action. But another one of the things is business cards. She talked about business cards. Who remembers that? Handful of us, hopefully, if we were listening yesterday. But this was brought up to me while in South Lake Tahoe last week. And I think it's so funny that she brought it up. And I think it was just because we were in the same environment, topic of conversation, because Miss Carrie Roeder and I were together. People were talking about business cards and how to utilize them. And so she talked about not only having a virtual one, but a physical one. And I want to share mine. Can you all see it without? No, I'm going to turn off this blurriness thingy. So I have a filter on. Be prepared that my filter will be off. It's not going to be as great anymore. But here we go. Okay, so here's my business card. Let me see if I can get this over to you. Super simple. And one of the gentlemen newer to ACN in South Lake Tahoe was asking me about business cards. Do I use ACN stock? And I love the fact that ACN has a business in a box that we can utilize. I just didn't have anything on there I wanted. It has way too much information. I wanted something just basic, simple that I can transition things to. This is the exact same card, y'all, I used when I moved to Lubbock. I changed a couple things on here. So you just see that it has my picture. So again, intentionality. Be intentional. So when I mentioned this to someone, I said, oh, it's just a basic card. And I handed it to him and he goes, there's a lot of thought in this basic card. And I was like, oh, well, I did this because of this because of that. And I was like, I remember everything I do, there's intention behind it. Don't just do things to do things. So even though it's super simple, I'm going to highlight the things I was intentional about. And one of them is my photo. Why? Because some of these networking events, as like a BNI or stuff like that, and everybody's passing around their cards, there could be 40, 50, 100 people at an event. How many of y'all have been to an event, have someone's card or their phone number, or you're like, Jonathan, which one was Jonathan? Which guy was this? You guys, anybody have that experience? I do it all day long. You know why? Because I work a room. If you guys haven't had that experience, work a room. You're not taking advantage because it happens to all of us. You saw those hands go up because that's what we do. We want to talk to everybody. So my picture's on there. They cannot say which one was Roxann again. If they don't remember what I look like, then there was a lot of short Mexicans in the room. So have your picture on there. However, it's just a professional headshot. I had someone say, man, you take such good pictures. I need some pictures like you. Hire someone. $75 for someone to do a professional headshot. And they did several poses. That one just happened to be my favorite. You see it on all the flyers. I guess it happens to be everyone's favorite. I took quite a few, but everyone likes the one in the blue dress. So get them done for $75. You're investing in yourself. Anyhow, so that's the picture. And then it just has my name. And underneath my name, it says consultants. Let me remember. Yes, it says consultants on there. What I changed from Lubbock is mine said energy consultants because I was focused so hard on Zoom energy. Right there underneath just said energy consultant. So people knew what I did. So there was no confusion. I wanted them to know 100%, hey, energy questions, call me. So right now it says consultants. Why? Because right now I'm heavily focused on impact, 100%, as we all should be. I see Mr. Gregory Williamson. What's up? It says impact. He's heavily focused on impact, right? But I do talk to a lot of real estate agents. Yes, I want them to focus on impact too, but they see the value in the concierge concept, right? So then we talk to them. I have, just because it says consultant, I can talk to them about utility concierge and implementing this into their practice and the homes they sell and the property managers and stuff like that. But if I'm talking to someone about business building, you guys have heard me say it before. When they say, what is it that you do? I say I coach professionals and non-professionals how to build a 6 and 7 figure income. Consultant fixes that. Consultant includes that. So there is some intentionality with just that one word. I can utilize it anywhere. Okay. And it just has my phone number, my email address, and my website. Now, I was kind of hesitant because I don't want people going to my website, but when I was in Lubbock, I had customers sign up that I've never known before because someone handed my business card and they just signed up at my website. So it works. So I kept it on. Anyhow, a couple of the other intentionality things that I did, then what I was so intentional about is I wanted glossy on the front. I wanted my picture to shine, and I did a semi-gloss just because I wanted them quick. But I just glossy and matte on the back. Anyone know why matte on the back? Plain, simple. There we go. Of course you knew, Miss Williams. She's already writing. Writing and take notes. Yes, Jackie Black, because I know I do it. Why did I think about this? Because when I get someone's card and they're talking to me as they leave, I'm like, oh my gosh, they have a daughter that's in soccer. They had this happen to them. Whatever notes I need, I jot it on here real quickly, stick it in my pocket so that I know when I call them back, I can say, hey, how did Julia's soccer game go on Saturday? And then they're like, oh my gosh, she was really paying attention. So yes, I have it matte on the back. So for those people that are like me, and if I notice they're taking notes, those are the people I want to talk to because I know they're like me. So one of the things that I did on here too is my curved edges. So you heard me say, yes, these things cost a little bit more, but I do it. So you heard me say that when I grab a business card, I put it in my pocket, right? There we go. I think Rick has them. Rick Kubiak curved edges. He has his. Yes. Because when I had business cards in my pocket and I pull them out, they're a freaking mess. They start splitting on the corners, they're bending, all the things that doesn't happen with curved edges. So I'm intentional, make sure my card looks good when they pull out their stack of cards from the box or whatever, the bag that they have it in, wherever they put the cards, mine is going to stand out above everyone else's because theirs looks like a stinking mess. And they're going to call me first. Right? Because they're going to be like, oh, Roxann has a nice, good card. And it's a little sturdier. It's not a paper card. When I receive a paper card from people, y'all, my first thought is they do not invest in themselves enough for me to want to invest my time in them. And I'm just being real and frank and blunt and honest with y'all. If someone has paper cards, you can tell that they cut it themselves, really cheaply done. That's not something that I want a person that I honestly want to talk to because I know that they're not putting enough. If they cannot put effort into their business cards, any effort with zero intentionality, what makes me think that they're going to work ACN? I might get them in. I mean, I'm pretty good at that. But do I want to get someone in that's not going to be coachable, that's going to take very minimal time in this business and not put any effort into it if they're not putting it in their business cards? Absolutely not. So understand what you're putting out there is what you're going to attract. So put something good out there. And it is simple. Why? Because I want people to know that things don't have to be complicated. You don't have to put a whole bunch of information. And you want to know how many people have reached out to me? Hey, Roxann, I met you at this event. Remind me what it is that you do. On your card, it says consultants. Remind me. And it opens up that conversation because now they have something to talk to me about. And they're like, oh, remind me what it is that you do. Even though we talked about it, they forgot because they met 1,000 people. And then so I can ask them questions. And now we're already having a conversation offline is what I call, but off of where I met them. And the reason why I want to make sure that they reach out to me is because it creates that relationship. You have that relationship built because they're interested. So another tool, and that was just implementing what Miss Carrie Roeder talked about yesterday, giving you guys examples. Because I know sometimes I start running with ideas when I hear this stuff. I'm like, okay, what about this? What about that? Let's see it in action. So I wanted you guys to see what it actually looked like. And one of the other last tools I think is number one and the most important tool, but I'm going to give kind of a little story that I saw an example of it, or someone. So who knows Selma Hayek? Anybody? Kush, first one. Yeah, of course. She's gorgeous, right? Beautiful woman. Love her. And I see so many little clips, just little interviews that she does. And she just amazes me every time I see her just being her authentic self. And so many little tools that I pick up from her. She doesn't even realize that she's training and she's coaching different topics that I'm like, ooh, that was good. Ooh. So she's on an interview, like freaking dressed amazingly, like gorgeous, a red carpet event. You know, these women got and men got to show up and they're wearing different people and they have all this expensive stuff on and jewelry and some of the dresses that they say how much that they cost. I'm like, oh my Lord, that's crazy for a dress. But they dress up so beautifully. And so she's getting an interview and all these people are wondering, like, who are you wearing? What are you wearing? Like all this stuff. And one of the interviewers comes up to her and says, what is the most expensive thing you have on today? Of course, because that's what people want to know. What's the most expensive thing? And you want to know what this amazing, beautiful woman says? Anybody take a guess in the chat? See this? I think Jackie Black is saying it. Her smile is a good one. Her heart is a really good one. Her mind. He asked her, what is the most expensive thing you're wearing right now? And she says, my mind. Facts, right? It really put into perspective because I was thinking, ooh, she's probably wearing some like amazing jewelry. And even me thinking about like the cost of things she's wearing. And yeah, that's going to be me one day. And then she says her mind. And I'm like, nope, mental shift. That's going to be me one day, because so many of us have all these thoughts that we need to put into action and play, and we're too busy working on the small things that we're not living up to our potential. I can tell you 100% you are not living up to your God-given talents. How do I know? Because I already know I'm not. Because we're so focused on the mundane and the little things so much that our minds are such powerful tools. One thing that we wear every single day is our mind and our mindset. And so she said that. And one thing that I heard is that brought this back up to me is you don't rise to the occasion. You don't, everyone says you need to rise to the occasion. Who's a leader? A leader is someone that rises to the occasion. A leader is someone that's there when they need to be there. A leader is someone that stands out, right? You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your lowest level of conditioning. I was like, ooh, I need to share this with Mr. Williamson. This is something he needs to be delivering on. But write that down. I wrote it. I've written it several times since I've heard it. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your lowest level of conditioning. And that makes so much sense to me. So just to give you guys a little bit of my background, I started out school as pre-med. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a pediatrician until I followed around a doctor and I realized that they kind of suck. I didn't want to be part of that environment. I love medicine. I love helping people. You guys already know how big of a heart I have to serve and help others. And that was my passion. But my environment is so important too. And I knew being a part of that type of environment would really dim my light. And it's something I didn't want to pursue and I needed to shift. But while I was in school, my accelerated program had me get my CNA license, so certified nurse's assistant. While I was still in high school, we got certified in CPR and the Heimlich and all those things I already had like at 16, 17 years old. But they train you, right, to do these things. And a couple things is one of them, oh my gosh, I don't even think I might be 18 at this point, but a child is choking. We're at a restaurant, a handful of friends, a child is choking, and the mom starts freaking out and she's jumping up and she's like pounding on his stomach and you can see his face red and it's not working. And I'm like, holy freaking cow. And this kid's still coughing a little bit. So it's okay. So I jump into action and I'm like, hey, hold on. Like I have her push back and here's this me, a itty bitty, I'm young. And this mom didn't even for a second think like, who are you? Step away. You're young. You don't know what you're doing, because I didn't rise to the occasion. I fell to my lowest level of conditioning. I was conditioned on what to do. I knew what to do. Because I knew what to do, I stepped in with this confidence, is saying, hold on, this is what we got to do. Calm down. I was level headed. His mom was freaking out, going bonkers. Dad is standing up. I don't even think dad did anything, to be honest. Man, let's get it together in crisis situations. But so I step up and I come into, because I was conditioned and trained to do that. And I already knew the steps to take. That happens another time. Here I am, fast forward, I'm older. And I'm sitting far across the table. This is a long table. And I'm sitting at one end of the table. And now I've transitioned. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't do all that stuff anymore. But I was conditioned and trained ever since I was younger. So it's still in me. And it's, they say, like riding a bike. So this gentleman, I'm at one end of the table, he's at the other end, don't even know the guy. My friends are hanging out with me. And all of a sudden, he just starts falling down and he's fainting, and you can see it. And everyone's freaking out. Everyone jumps up and they're all like, they don't know what to do. And so I don't know the gentleman. I don't know what's going on. And I stand up from across the room and I'm like, okay, someone, you, and I'm pointing, you help him down, grab him by the arms and help lay him down. I said, wife, does he have any allergies? Is he any issues? Is he diabetic? What's going on? Bartender, can you call an ambulance? Call 911 right now. And she's just standing there freaking out. No one called an ambulance. No one did anything. And here I am delegating on what to do. And I'm halfway across the room, but I'm calm. I'm cool. I'm collected. And I had someone with me who also was freaking out like everybody else. And he looked at me and he goes, who the fudge are you? Because he hadn't seen me in a situation like that. But it's because I was trained. I was conditioned, right? If I didn't take those classes, if I didn't have those steps, if I didn't have those things, if I didn't know how to delegate and, hey, make sure someone calls 911, make sure someone helps him out of his seat before he hurts himself, make sure they lay him on his side. I don't know what's happening, but I know these steps and these processes and these procedures. You guys know them for ACN, right? We do not rise to the occasion. We fall to our lowest level of conditioning. And real quick example, I'm in South Lake Tahoe and I'm talking to a gentleman and he's saying, oh, well, I'm very new. I don't, because in South Lake Tahoe, we do role playing and we do the presentation. He was like, oh, I'm so new. I haven't done the presentation. I said, no problem. Just read the slides. So I was his partner and he's reading the slides. And I said, you did really well. And I said, a couple of the information, couple of things you could fix here and there and change, but that's okay. You did really well. He goes, oh, thanks. And I said, how long have you been in? And he's thinking like 2 weeks. Like he goes, oh, like 6 to 7 months. And I said, 6 to 7 months? You should have seen this presentation 6 to 700 times. Like, if I sat here and said RESPECT, you guys would finish it, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Because you've heard it over and over and over and over. So you should have already been conditioned to read and know and deliver this. If you aren't, and he did say, because he was on these trainings, he was like, oh yeah, I jump on the presentations all the time. You're not paying attention. I can tell you that your camera's probably off. You're probably on your phone. You're probably doing other things. Your mind is somewhere else. If you cannot regurgitate this information the exact way Mr. Trolley does, I can do it. When he's delivering the presentation in South Lake Tahoe in training, I will mouth the words. Why? Because I've heard it over and over and over and over and over. I've recorded it. I've listened to it. Why? Because they're effective. Mr. Thomas always talks about these effective presentations. If they're effective, why change stuff up? Why throw crap in there? Tell the same stupid jokes. Do it. R&D, rob and duplicate. Those are the tools that we have. Your mindsets, your mind is your best tool. If you're not feeding your mind, you're not using your tool. That is a dusty tool in your toolbox. And I'm not talking about just learning mindset stuff, but also playing into action, listening to it over and over and over and paying attention. If you guys cannot, anybody on this call, everybody on this call, I know you've seen several presentations. If you can't, without a doubt, go out and deliver a presentation, I can guarantee you're not paying attention. You're not utilizing your tool. Because if you can sing a song, you can repeat a presentation. It's the same thing. It really is. Our presentation is a tool given to us by ACN. We didn't have to create it. We don't have to say anything extra than what's on those stinking slides. And if you can't deliver the information, if you don't know what the information even means, oh yeah, 3 to 20%. What does that mean? I don't know. You're not paying attention. So utilize the tools just like Miss Roeder said. These are examples of our tools, utilizing them in action. We have them. Now are you utilizing them? Utilize all these calls, Mr. Thomas's call. Everyone always asks me, well, Roxann, I don't know the schedule. Jump on the WhatsApps. They're all there. And they're always like, when's the next one? You're in the WhatsApp group. Utilize your tools. How did I get to where I am today? Utilizing my tools, pointing and clicking, seeing what's out there, not waiting for someone to tell me because I want to take control of my life. No one is going to do it for you. So, you guys, let's utilize these tools. Let's put them into action. I'm going to read it straight from here. If you guys haven't written it down yet, write it down. You do not rise to the occasion. You fall to your lowest level of conditioning. Let's enhance our conditioning. Let's run that marathon. Let's get it, you guys. Let's increase what our lowest level of conditioning is. Let's let our ceiling be our floor. Stop maximizing yourself out because your brain, your mindset has so much more potential that you have not tapped into. Tapped into it and get it done. Can't wait to see what y'all do this week. Can't wait to talk to y'all next week. Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate you.